correspondent here on Schwab Network, taking a look at Nvidia, of course, always in the headlines, and today, no different. It's working on a new chip to meet some China export restrictions. Let's hear a little bit about Nvidia this morning. Jenny, good morning.
Good morning, Nicole. I have to say that after a blistering week for Nvidia and the rest of the tech and chip trade last week, it's nice to see some upside today as we are up about 3.7% on the session here in real time. But following what was objectively good news for Nvidia, because of course this massive geopolitical export overhang, I think has been a pretty major concern. I think actually for quite some time over the course of this year, it almost felt like we were very quick to forget that. The muscle memory of the trade of Nvidia feels very short-lived, because this has been, I think, a pretty major headwind that we've sort of been able to brush off until the last several weeks. But news today that they're working on a new version of their flagship AI chip for the China market that would be compatible with these current U.S. export controls. Now, according to two of these sources first reported by Reuters, Nvidia will work with Inspur on the launch and distribution of that B20 chip, with shipments slated to start in the second quarter of 2025. We did also see lots of analysts that had nothing but positive things to say about Nvidia today, as Citi did open a 30-day positive catalyst watch on shares ahead of this major conference, where we could hear from, of course, their CEO as well as Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, that this analyst believes they'll be likely discussing the future of AI and the various ways that Nvidia could be really seeing their ARM-based Gray CPU for servers and what that really looks like. So more context on that this analyst is looking for, and they also did say that the CEO discussions should actually shed positive light on how Nvidia's end customers make their money or their return on equity profile, which is top of mind for many investors at this current time. So I know that we always panic when we see Nvidia turn over, as we have, because it does feel very much like it brings down the overall market. But when you still look at the last several years, it still feels like a blip. And I know we've pulled back substantially from highs, but if you look at the long-term picture, this is still one of the best performing stocks this year, and by a huge margin.
Loop Capital remained bullish on NVDA stock on Monday, raising its price target from $120 to $175, while retaining a buy recommendation. The modification takes into account the launch of Loop Capital's GPU Matrix, a brand new analytical tool intended to predict GPU performance. Based on Loop Capital's supply chain analysis, the GPU Matrix attempts to offer comprehensive predictions of GPU kinds, volumes, and average selling prices, ASPs, for the ensuing 2 to 3 years. At the moment, the Matrix only includes GPUs from NVDA. However, in later versions, coverage will be expanded. Based on a multiple of 29 to 33 times the forecasted profits per share, EPS, of $5.30 to $6 that NVDA is predicted to accomplish in the calendar year 2025 or fiscal year 2026. Loop Capital has increased its price objective to $175. The medium-term growth potential of NVDA stock is shown by this price target. The company's in-house research backs up its bullish assessment of NVDA. The model offers a detailed perspective of NVDA's anticipated performance by breaking down its quarterly GPU production and financial indicators. Investors following NVDA's stock may view Loop Capital's revised price target and ongoing buy rating as a reflection of the company's competitive advantage in the GPU industry and its potential for long-term, steady earnings growth. In other recent events, there have been a few fresh developments regarding NVDA, with Piper Sandler increasing its price target from $120 to $140 and Citi reiterating its $150 price target. Analysts from both firms have maintained favorable ratings for the stock. Both companies expect NVDA to do well. Piper Sandler believes the business will exceed revenue forecasts for the July quarter by over $2 billion. We'll talk about target projections and advice in today's video, so make sure not to miss out. However, before you do, if you'd like to stay up to date on Nvidia's most recent updates and the most recent news from the stock market, you can subscribe to our channel. We publish daily updates about the biggest shifts in market catalysts, so click the bell icon button to ensure you don't miss the most recent updates. All right, back to today's video.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Citi call, with the 30-day positive catalyst watch, It almost feels like an options trade at this point, but it's at 122. It went up to 140. People were so excited at 130 and 140, only to see it sink down below 120 again. So it certainly has been volatile. Very interesting to see this call, this new price target, right? 150. These tech stocks, the question is, are they in or out? And that's sort of, you know, and the head of Market Watch today, they even noted some stocks, I think the lead was Nvidia, Supermicro, and Broadcom, and 22 other stocks most likely to crash. You know, no one really knows where we're going. Jenny, final thoughts?
And I think that's what's so, I think, alarming ahead of these tech earnings. And obviously, we could see fantastic results and the market could rally. I think that's obviously the bullish case at this point. But on the other hand, you have the Mag 7 that are dominating what's expected, the overall growth for the S&P's earnings and revenue. Without the Mag 7, their growth rate for earnings, at least projected this quarter in the S&P, is cut in half. So that just speaks to the magnitude in which these companies have dominated the market. Nvidia, one day last week, shed $180 billion in market cap alone. So I always think that's concerning when so much is riding on one name, but obviously, at least to start this week, things are looking positive. Green, because naturally, Nvidia is green.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, sometimes we would look to the semis and that would drive the market. You're right. Good to see you. Jenny Horn, Markets.
A new phase of growth is anticipated for the company with the formal launch of its Blackwell architecture and the launching of its B100/B200 products. Furthermore, it has been revealed that Nvidia is creating the B20, a new artificial intelligence processor, especially for the Chinese market. Additionally, Nvidia has declared that it would no longer be selling semiconductors to Russia through illegal routes via China and Hong Kong. The company also requires its clients to abide by U.S. legal requirements. Investors are anticipating the forthcoming earnings reports from significant technology companies, such as Nvidia, in light of recent developments. Citing robust profits growth, analysts from institutions like Wells Fargo Investment Institute have voiced optimism in large tech businesses. These latest events highlight Nvidia's continuous attempts to negotiate the challenging terrain of global trade and technological rivalry. Furthermore, Nvidia's remarkable gross profit margin of 75.29% and notable revenue increase of 208.27% over the previous 12 months as of Q1 2025 highlight the company's strong financial position and leadership in the semiconductor market. It is important for investors to be aware that as of the date given, the stock has had a high return of 166.23% over the past year, despite experiencing significant volatility, including a noticeable price fall over the last week. Both long-term investors and short-term traders may find chances in this volatility. Let's dive right in. Greetings to all, and welcome back to Investing Tutorial. AI remains worth watching segment for global investors in 2024. But how do you keep up with the AI sector and others that you may be interested in? I recommend trying Moomoo, a sponsor of today's video. Some features to discover stocks with investment potential has blown me away. You can use the industry chain to find companies throughout the entire AI sector, or use the stock screener to filter stocks according to your investment strategy. Having the option to set parameters like industry, market indicators, financial indicators, technical indicators, and more. Ultimately, discover potentially undervalued stocks and those that appear to show buy signals to help inform your strategies in an effort to capitalize on AI-related opportunities. At the same time, Moomoo is one of the cheapest trading platforms I've found. It offers zero commission on stocks, options, and ETFs. After comparisons, I've discovered the fees are among the lowest. Right now, new users who open an account using my link and make a qualified deposit can get up to 15 free stocks. Enjoy a limited time 8.1% APY on idle cash for 3 months and earn up to $300 cash reward for transferring in their portfolio. These rewards can be earned together, so don't miss out. And thanks again to Moomoo for sponsoring this portion of the video.
Nvidia reportedly working on a new version of its Blackwell chips for the China market that would be compatible with U.S. export controls. This is according to the latest report out from Reuters. Nvidia will work with one of its major distributor partners in China on the launch. This is according to that report here from Reuters. Again, you're looking at gains of just about 3%. The company also getting a couple of bullish calls out here ahead of the open on the street here, just about some of that upward movement that analysts are expecting to see with Nvidia. But again, Maddie, this points to the fact, if in fact these reports are true, Nvidia potentially finding this workaround here, which was viewed as maybe a bit of a challenge here to their business, not something that would be a huge hindrance, at least in terms of demand, given the magnificent demand that the company has seen here for its AI chips. But again, if this is true and they are able to launch new AI chips here in China, certainly that will be viewed as a win here by the street.
Yeah, and we should mention again that this is according to reporters, 3 unnamed sources in their reporting saying that Nvidia is working on a version of its new flagship AI chips for the China market that would be compatible with U.S. export controls. And this continues to be an interesting topic for us to cover, given the tech moves that we did see last week following President Biden speaking about upping those export controls. But we also had former President Trump in an interview with Bloomberg News saying that he also would be pursuing some of those export controls as well. And that would potentially be a headwind for the broader chips market. And that's exactly what we saw last week in some of the big tech names. A little bit of a sell-off, certainly recovering, though, as we head into this week. You're seeing both the major indices moving to the upside, primarily driven by those big tech names. And then, of course, you've also got Nvidia up over 3.5% in the market today.
Nvidia has a manageable debt load and enough cash flow to meet interest payments, indicating a stable financial structure that has allowed it to sustain dividend payments for 13 years in a row. 2 of the Nvidia shipments, valued at $1.58 million and $1.21 million, were sent to a Moscow-based company called Lotos, according to the 2023 customs data from C4ADs. The consignor, Malachor Electronics, was located in the central business district of Hong Kong and had a secretarial address in a high-end office building. It was not possible to get in touch with Colin Stevenson, the director of Malachor, whose listed address is in the United Kingdom. Customs records seen by Reuters show that between August and December of last year, Hong Kong consignors traded in China, Taiwan, Turkey, Thailand, Serbia, and the United Arab Emirates before bringing Nvidia goods worth $17.6 million into Russia. The Jetson TX2 Edge AI systems included in the consignments are among the parts of drones that the Ukrainian government has found operating in the conflict. There are numerous second-hand channels where one can find pre-owned Jetsons. According to John Rizzo, a representative for Nvidia, we will take appropriate action if we determine that any customer is violating U.S. export controls, even though we cannot track products after they are sold. Rizzo withheld information regarding the cargo to Lotos. Additional upscale shipments consisted of 2 $1 million shipments of semiconductors from Vectrawave that were identified as microprocessors. Manufacturer of specialized semiconductors for advanced defense and communication systems, such as radar, is Vectrawave. According to the CFHK report and a Reuters analysis of Hong Kong companies' registry filings, the ease of starting and registering new businesses in Hong Kong has led to a proliferation of shipping and logistics firms, as well as other intermediaries that have also facilitated restricted trade and monetary flows with Iran and North Korea. Some of these have received approval from U.S. officials. Reuters visited industrial buildings near the Kwai Chung container port in Hong Kong and discovered closed offices for consignors listed in company filings and customs records. One company, Align Trading, consigned the Vectrawave chips. Their location was a musty room filled with hundreds of registry letters from Hong Kong businesses. Despite the recent volatility of Nvidia stock, a Wall Street analyst stated on Monday that the bull argument for the stock is still valid. The chipmaker's fiscal second quarter earnings, which are expected on August 28, could be the next major mover for Nvidia shares, he suggested. Nvidia's shares increased 4.8% Wednesday, closing at 123.54. In a client letter, Kumar stated, "We view the setup for Nvidia positively ahead of the July quarter earnings and the October quarter guidance. We believe that Nvidia's robust business trends from the previous year will persist, helped by the official release of the Blackwell architecture in the October quarter." According to him, Nvidia is still the industry leader in accelerated computing and processors for generative AI. Nvidia's stock closed at 123.54 today on the stock market, up 4.8%. In a client letter, Kumar stated, "We view the setup for Nvidia positively ahead of the July quarter earnings and the October quarter guidance. We believe that Nvidia's robust business trends from the previous year will persist, helped by the official release of the Blackwell architecture in the October quarter." According to him, Nvidia is still the industry leader in accelerated computing and processors for generative AI. With all of these considerations, Nvidia is unquestionably a great buy, especially if you're looking to invest for the long term because the company hasn't reached its full potential yet. What do you think about Nvidia stock? Is it a good buy at the current price? Please share your opinions with us in the comments section, and don't forget to let us know what you think NVDA is worth. If you're interested in learning what other companies like Nvidia have been up to lately, click on the next video on your screen. We'll see you there.